Right, welcome just out of your trip 271, and this afternoon it's 3 o'clock. Maybe I should still be at work, but you know, I got to go fishing. I'm going to trot a lobworm through, and it's just a pretty standard looking swim, this one in truth, just a nice straight, and I'm just going to trot it down the far side. I think there'll be some perch here, personally. See what we get. Got to watch out for that tree. It's just started getting really windy, just as I cast, first time. Blowing right downstream and at me. That's a fish. Second trot. I just made it a bit deeper. Oh, I've lost it. Let's put it back out. Felt like a perch. Oh, this wind's really making things difficult. I always want to float fish, but every time I try to float fish, the wind isn't it the problem. I'll carry on regardless. That's a fish. Oh, hopefully. Hope it's let go. Right there. What I do, I've moved the camera because I've no chance of fishing accurately to the far side. Everything is blowing the bow and the line at me, and each time I mend the line, it drifts over a foot. So I'm going to try centre of the river, but pretty much the only place I'm getting a good true run is about 20 yards down. So I'll change the camera. There we go. I thought something was nibbling right down there. It's a bit loose. What is it? Not big, whatever it is. It's definitely a fish though. Surely not. My goodness. Let me show you this. I'm going to try and swing it in so you can see the size. Oh, it's actually a little chub. I thought it was a dace. I'm sure that's a baby chub. Never mind, at least it's a fish. Nice little fish. Let me have a look at it. There he is. I'd say a little chub. Straight back. You can see the trouble I'm having. Each time I mend the line, the float comes in a foot, and I want it trotting only a few feet from the far reeds, where there's a nice kind of natural clearing. Right, 40 minutes down the line, and I've decided I can't fish my float rod how I'd like to, so I'm going to put the lobworm on the quiver tip. I'm only using a tiny little bit of that carp fishing putty. It's really heavy stuff, expensive as well, so I don't want to lose it. I got quite a bit of it. And I'm going to flick it to the far side. Let's see what we get. That's where I want it, just there. Oh, that didn't take long. What's this? It's just putting a second rod rest in for the back of the rod. I thought there might be a fish or two on that far bit. Hopefully a perch. It's a bit bigger than the last one, and it's staying low. There's got to be a chub. It's going under them. Yeah. Tried to do me like a typical chub does. There we go. Alright, we're having a look. I'm not an otter. I won't eat you. There it is. Lovely little chub for the little stream. About £2. Perfect condition. And he was probably down there the whole time eating, well, not eating much, but watching my worm. Quite thin, but that's probably because of all the flooding. Let's put it straight back. I was just about to twitch it. What happened there? Is that a fish? I'm going to strike that. No. Oh. I think it was a fish. It definitely was a fish. Look how chewed up that was. Tiny little bite. Probably another chub. That's a little tap. Is he going to take it? Twitch it on that. That should get him biting. Hello. There we go. Oh, I think I know what this is. They're quite fun to catch, I'm not going to lie. Absolutely Speedy Gonzales. Quick look at it. Very lively trout, probably out of season still. Straight back. A lot of fish down there. Maybe I should have struck on that. Twitch. Just like before. Oh, it's getting dark all of a sudden. If you're wondering what the time is, it's about 10 past perch o'clock. Let's see what we get. Oh, my worm's got a tangle. It's looped round me isotope. Oh dear. Sort this. It's the only thing when you use isotopes on a quiver tip rod is sometimes the line loops up and twists over the end isotope. and then you lose your lobworm on the cast. Sounds like the government's coming over. See if I can film it if it's... I think it's up in the clouds. Big plane, whatever that is. But it's just up in the low clouds. Before I forget, I was in TK Tackle earlier, well, when I finished work, to get my lobworms. And strangely, I asked if she had a tape measure. Probably wondered why, but I measured my hand because of the claws I found. Not the claws, they're burying, whatever it was. And from there to there, it's 5 1/4 to 5.5 inches when I do that. It's a bit bigger when I do that, but that's the shape I was doing to mimic the claws. That was 5 1/4 inches, and it's 8 inches from there to there. So when I show you like a little fish that is hand size, it's 8 inches long and 5.5, 5 inches thick, tall. Or, not tall, but what do you call that? Depth, deep. It's not worry. I'll carry on fishing. There we go. Nice little nibble. Oh, it is. Oh, I know what that is. The whole reason I think there's going to be big perch here somewhere, maybe very difficult to catch, but it's because of stuff like that. You imagine eating them all the time, you'd get fat quick if you were a fish. Nice mixture of wind and drizzle now. Is that a little bite? I was just admiring the rain. We need some rain. That's a bite. Look at that. Oh, I've lost it. Swam right up towards me. Something down here just disturbed as well. I don't know what that was. Put that back out. Was that me? No. There we go. Oh, that. That felt nice, like a good chub or something. And I lost it. I was actually just thinking to myself, let me put one. Oh, wow, look at that. That is incredible. That's a leech. I'll show you. I've dropped my worm. I'll pick the... I'll show you. Look at that. I literally hooked... I don't know how I hooked that. I lost a good fish, and that... Surely that didn't give me the bite. I'm going to keep it on. I'll keep it on the hook with a lobworm. Hang on. And then that way the fish can get some revenge. Where's it gone? Oh, I've lost it. No, it's still on. I really did hook it. It's incredible. That's probably the smallest, well, it's not a fish, but the smallest thing I've ever caught on a hook. That looks delicious now. Put the head on. If that don't catch me a perch, I don't know what will. Getting back to the point, I was just thinking to myself, before that bite, with all the rains that we've had this year, last year, the year before, regular flooding now, and it always floods in the same places. So can't we build reservoirs in those places? And then, it's going to take a lot of work, but have an embankment to separate the river from the reservoir for the summer months. And then in the winter, it's just going to fill up, isn't it? Surely, and all the road runoff can be targeted to the reservoirs. Because there's loads. You watch YouTube and you see all these videos of cars conking out with floods, which I love watching. It's quite funny, because I've lost a car in a flood. So I just think it would work really well. It's always the same areas that flood. So all we got to do, we pay so much tax, just spend some of that money on actual useful stuff. Maybe the water companies could do that. Then they could discharge their effluent into the well, no, maybe not, because we'd want to drink. Well, you wouldn't drink it direct. It's just a thought I had. But certainly the runoff from all of the new builds and the new housing estates, even new towns like Whitchelstowe, they could all be targeted towards the new reservoirs. You get what they call the drainage pits on new sites, or ponds, I think they might call them. I should know really. Where but they get very full very quickly, and then drain very, very quickly as well, which is what would happen, I guess, in a reservoir. And then you would actually just be left with a deep hole, maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's not a good idea. I don't know. I'm not a water engineer. Probably had a bite whilst I was chatting. That's a fish. There we go. I've lost it. Can't believe it. But it took the leech, so it did get some revenge. Oops. And I put that back out, because worms are expensive nowadays. Wind or bite? I reckon bite. It is a bite. Oh, good lord. Not another one. Oh, blimey. A very fine fish indeed. Straight back. Oh, we've got a big twist in my line now to straighten all that out. I've also got one there. What have I been up to? Please don't get a bite now. There we go. God, the weather this year really has been against anglers. It seems like every dusk period it's either raining or blowing an absolute hoolie. And the only times it's not raining or blowing a hoolie is when the rivers are right up in the fields. It's been just shocking, really. No anglers out and about this year. Well, not many, there's some. Unsurprising, because you just don't want to fall in, Plus all the trees that have come down are in the swims. Is that not it? Lost that one. I know what it was. Oh, you gotta love a bit of wind and rain, ain't ya? Just going to dismantle my float rods, so keep an eye on the rod fall. This blooming weather. It's been so windy the last 10 minutes. We've literally got a month left of the season. Well, you know, it's pretty much a month. 4 weeks. All I want is one day on a weekend where it's not wet or windy. Like overly windy. I don't mind a subtle breeze. You know, like, but not a moderate breeze. Which is what is actually known as a gale. I have to put you away again. You get... Well, it's 5:30. I've had quite a lot of bites, and I might have caught a good perch right now, but honest to God, I just can't see the bites anymore. The only bites I would be able to see are the ones where the rod rips around, which are not going to be perch at all, or a good chub. So I'm going to call it an evening. Thanks very much for watching. Thanks for subscribing. See you again next time, maybe. Bye.